Today I would like to explain how the Orlando Magic have built their team through the NBA draft to become serious title contenders out of the Eastern Conference. The Orlando Magic were formed in 1989 along with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they built their team through what is called an expansion draft. In this expansion draft, they were able to get highly rated players such as Scott Skiles and now present-day owner Otis Smith. Even though they seemed like on paper they had a really good team, they suffered a horrible record of 18-64. Now this seems bad at first, but when you think about it, the more an NBA team loses, the better their chances are of getting a high draft pick the following year. This was the case for the next 3 years, as the Orlando Magic suffered loss after loss after loss. But in 1991, there was an up-and-coming center from LSU named Shaquille O'Neal who could finally, if drafted by the Orlando Magic, bring them to the forefront. The Orlando Magic, in fact, did select Shaquille O'Neal, and they were able to bring their record close to 500. The following year, after Shaquille O'Neal was drafted, they were able to acquire another number 1 draft pick. In this draft, they selected Chris Webber, and on draft day, they made a major deal to send him to Golden State for a point guard named Anthony Penny Hardaway. Bringing Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal together was a dream team in the making. They had a strong core founded by young players, and they were able to build around them with strong veteran leadership, such from the likes of Horace Grant, Nick Anderson, and Dennis Scott. The Magic made it to the playoffs, actually, with Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway, and they were swept in the first round by the Indiana Pacers. This gave them major incentive to make it to the playoffs and even farther the next year. And they did in fact do this. They had a great season, and they put up one of the best records of any Orlando Magic team to date. The Orlando Magic made it to the finals the next year, and they were swept when they made it to the Houston Rockets, who were led by Clyde Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon. The following year, after their sweep, they made it to the playoffs again, and they met the Chicago Bulls, who then had a stronger Michael Jordan after his comeback. The Magic were left without their starting center, Shaquille O'Neal, who was plagued by injury of a sore thumb. Many viewed this in Orlando as that Shaquille O'Neal just quite simply wasn't happy. The following year, after that loss to Chicago, when Chicago won the championship, Shaquille O'Neal was a free agent. He was traded he signed with the Los Angeles Lakers, and the team was then left with just one offensive weapon in Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway himself, actually, in the following seasons, was plagued by injury himself. He actually left the team a few years after that, and the Orlando Magic were shuffled to the bottom of the deck in the Eastern Conference once again. Now, like I said before, the bright side of losing seasons, if you want to find one, is getting a high draft pick. And the Orlando Magic were able to do so after losing seasons, and when they selected number 1 straight out of high school, Dwight Howard. In that draft, they also were able to draft a point guard in Jameer Nelson. Now, for the next few years, the Orlando Magic built around this young all-star center, and today they're a powerhouse out of the Eastern Conference. Actually, this last year in 2009, they made it to the NBA Finals, where they won their first ever finals game along the leadership of their all-star, Dwight Howard. In conclusion, the history of the Orlando Magic has been both light and dark, but they have built their team around a strong center both times through the NBA draft. Thank you.